Travel back in time with a trip inside the Iowa's News Now vault.
They're becoming cheaper and more popular. Satellite television dishes are popping up all over Iowa, in cities, in the country, and in residential areas. They're sprouting up so fast, many people say it's time to regulate just where they can be placed.
You don't see a whole bunch of silver things in the front yard or something like that where they could have better looking houses.
I think it would be unattractive if there were a lot of them in the city and they were put in the front yards and exposed.
City officials in Washington, Iowa want satellite dishes out of sight but not out of reach. They're working on an ordinance that would restrict dishes to backyard areas.
I saw one in another town that was sitting right in the front yard and was in front of the neighbor's front window, actually, if he were looking out of his house. Now, we don't want this to happen. We think by regulating it to the backyard or in that area that we will avoid this.
There is opposition to that type of ordinance. A satellite dish must have a clear southern exposure to work properly. Opponents say depending on individual property layouts, the backyard rule could knock some customers out of the satellite dish market.
I think they're unnecessary. I think they're a little silly, and I think they're premature.
Nicholas Johnson is a professor at the University of Iowa and a former FCC commissioner. He opposes backyard rules.
There's an almost endless number of problems with this. I think it violates First Amendment rights to receive as well as to send information. I think it flies in the face of the FCC's deregulation scheme based on the assumption that we all have access to a range of new technologies.
City officials in Washington say the intent of their ordinance is to preserve the community's appearance and not prevent people from buying dishes. But what some see as an eyesore, others consider attractive. Dennis Boyd sells satellite dishes. Since Thanksgiving, he's installed 40 around eastern Iowa.
They're not that obtrusive looking. They're becoming more popular. You're seeing more and more of them. There's no problem, I don't believe. Things blend in well. A lot of it has to do with the type of dish that's being placed in the area.
A number of cities have already adopted backyard restrictions. Iowa City adopted its satellite dish ordinance over a year ago. City Housing Director Doug Boothroyd says there haven't been any complaints about the rule yet.
We are anticipating that there will be more of a demand for satellite dishes in the future, and there needs to be some regulation about the location of those dishes in residential areas in particular.
The same technology that created this debate may provide the final solution. Some industry experts predict that in the future, satellite dishes will be much smaller. Small enough to be practical for every home, small enough to be easily concealed. Brian Greif for Iowa Tonight.